We are live.
Okay, thank you. Clerk, could you please report on the certification of election and qualifications of councilpersons-elect Carnavera and Kim Chohan?
It is my pleasure to report that the Middlesex County Board of Elections has certified the election of Tara Canavera and Stephanie Kim Chohan as members of the Borough Council of the Borough of Highland Park. Once they have subscribed to the oath of office and allegiance, they are qualified to assume their duly elected duty positions of on the governing body.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next on the agenda would have been my swearing in of Councilperson-elect Carnavera. However, she is absent today, and we will be adjourning the swearing in to a later date. I'm going to move on now. The oath of office and allegiance will be administered to Councilperson-elect Kim Chohan by Edison Mayor, welcome Sam, Mayor Sam
Hello.
Joshi of Edison Township. Go right ahead, Stephanie and Mayor Joshi.
Sure. 1 second, sorry.
No. It's not food. Yeah, but you couldn't doing with this dog.
I'm screenshotting.
Yeah, I was gonna say someone needs a picture.
Okay. I'm back. Steph, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Repeat after me. Repeat after me. I, Stephanie Kim Chohan,
I, Stephanie Kim Chohan. Can you guys hear me?
do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly
that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly
perform all the duties of the office
perform all the duties of the office
of councilperson
of councilperson
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people. So help me God.
under the authority of the people, so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Of
And
course. Congrats.
Thanks, Sam. Mayor, I'm sorry, I can't call you that.
Congrats, Councilwoman. Congrats. I
Congratulations.
love how Valentino's in the back.
I love how Naila just like messed up my swearing in. That's okay.
Yeah, I apologize, but it's true. When it's after hours, she does come into the mayor's office. That's actually where I'm here right now. But congratulations to you. Okay.
Thanks.
Take care. Bye-bye.
okay, thank you all. And welcome back, Stephanie,
Thank you.
Councilwoman Kim Chohan. All right, now we're going to get into the meeting. This meeting is called to order in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice of this meeting was provided to the Home News Tribune, the Star Ledger, and the Highland Park Planet on December 30th, 2021, and was posted on the Borough website at www.hpboro.com and on the bulletin board at Borough Hall 221 South Fifth Avenue, Highland Park, New Jersey, on December 30th, 2021, and has remained continuously posted as required by law. As mayor, I preside over this council meeting and may interrupt, warn, or terminate a participant statement or participation in the virtual meeting if the participant statement does not adhere to the 3 minutes provided to each participant for public comment, or if the statement is abusive, obscene, or irrelevant. We go to the Pledge of Allegiance now. And Pastor Gray, would you honor us by leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Okay. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of
of
America
and
and to the republic
Republic
Which it
for
stands,
which it stands,
one nation,
one
nation,
nation,
under God,
under God, indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty
liberty and
and justice
justice
for
for
all.
all.
Thank you. And Pastor Gray, you're on. Thank you for joining us this evening and offering to give the invocation at this very important meeting.
Yes, thank you for having me. Friends, let us pray. Loving God, our provider, protector, sustainer, and friend, we come this evening with grateful hearts as we reflect on last year and look towards this new year. We are so thankful for the numerous ways that you moved in us and through us in 2021, through the highs and the lows that we all faced, either as individuals or collectively as a community. In our fears, in our grief, in our tragedies and disappointments, Lord, you were there. In our celebrations, achievements, successes, and peace-filled moments, you were there. And so we remain hopeful, Lord, that you will continue to faithfully be with us as we enter into 2022. Just like 2021, we know we will face some challenges, that some problems from last year will linger into this year, and that some unexpected concerns may also arise. So when those moments come, when those moments of fear and doubt start to take over, God, we ask that something reminds us that we are not alone, that we are part of a community of people here in Highland Park who care for one another and who want the best for all who live in this community. And most importantly, Lord, remind us that you are with us, guiding us, giving us the wisdom and knowledge and empathy to move forward this year. We lift up Mayor Mittler, the council, school officials, the police and fire departments, and so many others who are committed to serving Highland Park. There are many creative projects and plans that are to be implemented this year, and we are excited to see them come to fruition. So we thank you, Lord, in advance for what you will do in and through each of us this year. Amen.
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 Thank you for those inspiring words.
Thank you.
Pastor Gray, it's wonderful having you in our community.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. All right, I see Senator Pat Dyckman has joined us. Senator, how are you?
Very good in these crazy times. Congratulations, Stephanie, on your swearing in. Well done.
Thank you, Senator.
Hey, I'll make this brief. I say this to everybody, and I'm not making it up because I say it everywhere. If only our entire country was like Highland Park, united, inclusive, tolerant, welcoming all points of view. Like, just keep up the good work. It's an honor to represent you, and you're the best of the state of New Jersey.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.
And thank you for representing us so well in the state legislature,
Mhm.
Better times ahead.
for us all.
Yes.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you, Senator.
Okay, we're now going to move on to the regular part of our meeting. Any of our guests who would like to leave can leave if they choose to, or continue to stay with us, whatever you like. All right, roll call, please.
Mayor Burlmitler,
Here.
Councilwoman Canavera, Councilwoman Foster,
Here.
Councilman George,
Here.
Councilman Hale,
Here.
Councilmember Hirsch,
Here,
Councilwoman Kim Chohan,
Here.
Borough Attorney Schmier,
Here.
and Borough Administrator Hovier.
Here.
Now, this is the time on our agenda when I usually introduce the newly sworn council members to the community. But introductions to Stephanie Kim Chohan and to Tara Cornavera really are not necessary. Stephanie has been such a great asset to our council team over the last years. I'm delighted to have you as part of the team moving us all forward. She has a creative energy that is wonderful to see, and she keeps us all in line financially and is doing a great job for the community in her role here on council the last few years in the finance area. So Stephanie, thank you again for putting yourself out there for everyone in Highland Park. I'm looking forward to working with you in the years ahead as we just look at the future and find the best way forward financially for our community, but also in so many other ways. So thank you, Stephanie, for stepping up yet once again. And Tara Cornavera is not with us this evening due to an illness, but Tara is our newest member of council, and she has been an inspiration for all of us. She has been working mostly with our human relations and committee, food pantry, the Hood organization, all of our social programs here. And Tara has been just a force of energy, and I'm delighted to welcome her back to our team for another term here. So Stephanie, Tara, welcome back. Okay. We now move on to resolutions that require a separate reading. And so I'm moving on to point 9B, resolution to adopt the rules of order for 2022. Municipal clerk, do you read that resolution to us, or do we just go into the vote?
Just into the vote.
Thank you. In that case, may I have a motion to adopt or reject the resolution to adopt rules of order for 2022?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Foster,
Yes.
Councilman George,
Yes.
Councilman Hale,
Yes.
Councilmember Hirsch,
yes,
and Councilwoman Kim Chohan.
Yes.
Okay. May I have a resolution to adopt the mission statement for the Borough of Highland Park?
so moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Foster,
Yes.
Councilman George,
Yes.
Councilman Hale,
Yes.
Councilmember Hirsch,
Yes,
Councilwoman Kim Chohan.
Yes.
All right, council members, may I have a nomination for the president of the council for 2022?
I would like to nominate current council president Phil George to remain as council president for 2022.
Thank you.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Thank you.
May I have a motion that we close the nominations and 2022 council president be elected by acclamation?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, congratulations, Phil. You are our council president again this year for 2022.
Thank you. I look forward to working with everybody. I thank you all for your confidence. And I also thank you for the last year's hard work that everybody's put in, not only in their own particular liaisons, but in helping all of us in a very tough year to get through it and get through it well. Thank you.
Thank you, Council President. All right, then we're moving on. These are the resolutions that require a separate reading. May I have a motion to adopt or reject the resolution to establish the 2022 standing committees?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Foster,
Yes.
Councilman George,
Yes.
Councilman Hale,
Yes.
Councilmember Hirsch,
Yes, and I just wanted to mention the organization quickly because I was really impressed with the way that the committees were organized last year. There's a lot of kind of overlap, so we crossed a lot of silos. And so it really kept the council organized and kept people aware of what's going on in everybody's individual portfolio. So absolutely, yes, thank you.
Councilwoman Kim Chohan.
Yes.
All right. I'd like to read you all my annual State of the Borough address and ask that after reading, I will ask for a motion to spread the message upon the minutes. Well, folks, 2021 was certainly a challenging year. And while we don't know what lies ahead of us for 2022, I do know that Highland Park has proven that we can stand up to and face any obstacles that get thrown our way. 1 year ago, I was asking residents to stay home and do as much as you can remotely, as we all worried about this new pandemic and how to handle it safely. Today, our in-town COVID testing facility provides tests for sometimes up to 600 people a day. The rate of infection can now be controlled by vaccinations. And as of December 24th, 2021, 83% of our population has had at least one dose of vaccine, and 68% of our population is fully vaccinated. 1 year ago, we questioned whether our active downtown lives in Highland Park could go on. Well, there certainly were modifications. We created more outdoor gathering spaces for safe conversations at our town tables on South 3rd and North 4th Avenues. Thanks to Main Street Highland Park, our residents were able to purchase fresh produce and gifts at our weekly farmers market and holiday markets outdoors. Our restaurants and music venue provided outdoor tables and chairs for dining and socializing safely. And most recently, Highland Park's own Rack on Tour bookmobile and radio show offered a safe outdoor venue for its production of A Christmas Carol at the municipal lot on Raritan Avenue. 1 year ago, we pondered whether our eclectic downtown would ever achieve the economic vision and stimulus it needs to modernize and move into the 21st century. This year, a well thought out plan for downtown revitalization and Redevelopment was finalized and awaiting developer opportunities. 1 year ago, we debated what to do about our vital Woodbridge Avenue commercial corridor. This year, our Woodbridge Avenue corridor was named an NPP, that's Neighborhood Preservation Program, participant and received a grant of over $500,000 over 5 years for improvements to its streetscape and modernization. 1 year ago, despite the slowdowns in construction countrywide, Highland Park's newest project, the Frederick on River Road, was an approved project. Today, it is nearly completed and almost sold out. This is a testament to the desirability of living in Highland Park. 1 year ago, we increased funds for our police training budget, and Chief Abrams instituted new policies and procedures for our officers. Today, we have seen a 60% decrease in use of force reports, a trend over the last 3 years. 1 year ago, our borough buildings, including our recreation center, had to close due to COVID-19. Through creativity and out-of-the-box thinking, our seniors and all users of our center enjoyed exercise, music, and dancing, plus other activities in our parking lot and down at Donaldson Park. 1 year ago, we approved and vowed to contribute to a grant submission that would provide much-needed grant funds to update and repair our library building, including the roof. Today, I am happy to report that we will receive grant funds of nearly $500,000 towards library building improvements and repairs. 1 year ago, when our schools had to go remote learning for our children, our teens found a COVID-19 safe home at Zone 6. Today, Zone 6 provides not only recreational and educational programs, but so many other support services for our teens and our families. 1 year ago, our hundreds of volunteers who serve on our boards, committees, and commissions, the keys to our programming and activities throughout the borough, pondered how to go on without in-person meetings or activities. Today, our volunteers plan their programs for all of us via Zoom and other safe meeting venues, and our outdoor activities go on. 1 year ago, we retreated to our homes. Today, we may gather again, socially distanced and masked. The world has not gone back to normal yet, and truly, who's to say what normal really is? But Highland Park, this wonderful patchwork quilt of so many different people from different backgrounds and different faiths and different histories, but all with the one common goal of standing strong, moving forward, and reaching out to one another, we survive. And I dare say we survive stronger and more creatively than ever before. So what lies ahead of us for 2022? 1, we will continue to strive to make it economically feasible for folks of all financial means to live comfortably in our community by emphasizing smart growth and financial management to help stabilize our municipal taxes. 2, one clear way to see this happen is through smart downtown development that fills our streets with shoppers and diners, plus brings new vibrancy to Raritan Avenue. This will also increase our tax base while providing community benefits from new developers. 3, we will continue to move our infrastructure into the 21st century with help from grants that allow us to do more road repairs and other structural updates and improvements. 4, while working with DEP, we will continue to research and make improvements to help battle the new epic flooding events we have faced and expect to face during climate change in the future. That includes addressing flooding issues in residential areas, acquiring the proper equipment for our first responders to deal with climate change, and working with Middlesex County officials on areas they control, such as River Road, Johnson Park, and Donaldson Park. 5, it is our people, our residents of all ages, that are our greatest assets. And despite a pandemic, we must continue to provide quality of life opportunities for all of our residents. Our creative employees and volunteers at our community center will continue to provide programs and services for our seniors, children, and residents of all ages in safe but interactive in-person ways. Our library, which I think of as our second community center, will continue to provide musical and literary activities for all to enjoy on the library lawns and outdoor spaces, plus their ongoing book borrowing program. Our Zone 16 Center will continue its innovative program for ages 13 through 19, helping to keep our teens positively motivated at its after-school programs. And as we move forward, we will continue to serve as a role model of transparent government. Our Take 5 announcements, sort of social media and Nixle messages, summarize the key elements of the most recent council meetings so that those who cannot attend get to learn the key issues discussed or voted on by council. Our quarterly Highland Park newsletter provides residents a hard copy vehicle to see what our boards and commissions have been up to, any new and exciting changes in town, plus brief bios on residents and employees. Additionally, our official website, www.hpboro.com, and official Highland Park, New Jersey Facebook page keep residents updated on the issues or news or events in town. And lastly, our HPTV station is being reviewed so that we may make better use of it in 2022 as a real communications vehicle for our residents. 2021 was certainly a busy year with lots of curveballs thrown at us. I want to thank our council members, Council President Phil George, for his dedication to improving our public works in town, from snow plowing to water sewer issues and so much more. Councilwoman Foster, for her steadfast hand in overseeing our public safety teams during a flood, a pandemic, and a troubled world. Councilman Matt Hale, for his enthusiasm for our downtown development goals and his brainstorm to create our town tables downtown, making safe social gathering more possible. Councilwoman Kim Cho-han, for working so hard with our borough administrator and finance team to ensure that our taxes are stabilized as much as possible and that are properly collected and are utilized in the most responsible manner. Councilman Matt Hirsch, whose enthusiasm and creativity are boundless and has worked to ensure that our recreation department does serve all our children and adults in a safe, fun manner during COVID-19 days. And finally, thank you to our newest member, Councilwoman Tara Canavera, for her commitment to ensuring equal opportunities and social interactions amongst our residents of all economic and social groups, plus for working so closely with me and the Highland Park Board of Health as we work our way through this pandemic. I want to also thank our public safety teams, police, first aid, and fire for protecting all of us this last year and all these past decades. And of course, I'd like to thank our borough staff for going above and beyond during these difficult times. Finally, I'd like to thank Terry Hover, our Borough Administrator, who clearly never stops working on behalf of all of us to ensure that all the cogs in the wheels of administration move smoothly, and that the taxes we each pay are utilized in the most efficient and beneficial manner. So folks, I raise a glass of water to you all. Thank you. Please stay safe and healthy.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you all.
I raised this Earl Grey tea.
Okay. May I have a motion to spread the message of the Mayor's Borough Address upon the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Um, Borough Clerk, do I need a roll call or an all in favor?
I think you can do it all in favor.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Did everybody aye?
I think so.
Okay. Consent agenda items. May I have a motion to adopt the following items, 13A through 13K?
L.
L? Okay,
Mhm.
So moved.
okay, I see Terry has her hand raised.
I just wanted to make one note on item 13K, the salary resolution. A column got dropped off, and you'll notice there are a couple of employees that have two salaries. That's due to step increases that take place mid-year. So we will correct it in the final version. The amounts listed are correct, but they're not getting two salaries. I just wanted to make that point clear. But it helps us to just get the salary resolution done for the whole year in one swap. So I apologize for that
Thank you.
inadvertent drop off.
Thank you, Terry. I caught that too. Thank you.
Okay, so we had a motion and a second. In that case, may I have a roll call?
Councilwoman Foster,
Yes.
Councilman George,
Yes.
Councilman Hale,
Yes.
Councilmember Hirsch,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kim Cho-Han.
Yes.
Okay. Now we get to the part of a lot of reading. We're up to number 14. And I am appointing the following to serve as our professionals for 2022. Borough Attorney Edwin Schmier Esquire from Mason, Griffin and Pearson. Tax Appeal Attorney Martin Allen Esquire of DeFrancesco, Bateman and Coley. Labor Attorney Arthur Thibault Esquire of Aprustis, McDermott, Mastro and Murphy. Borough Prosecutor Robert Jankovich Esquire, Law Office of Robert Jankovich Esquire, LLC. Public Defender Frederick Rosselli Esquire of Rosselli and Rosselli, PA. Bond Counsel Wilentz, Goldman and Spitzer. Borough Engineer David Samuel, CME Associates. Borough Auditor Gerard Stankovich, Samuel Klein and Company. Borough Planner James Constantine, LRK Incorporated. Special Co-Attorney Serenian Edwards and Nolan, LLC. Special Planner Brian Slaw, Clark Caton and Hintz. Special Redevelopment Counsel Joseph Bauman Jr. Esquire of McManaman, Scotland and Bauman. Risk Manager David Balkin of Balkin Risk Management. May I have a motion to confirm?
So moved.
second,
Okay, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Foster,
Yes.
Councilman George,
yes,
Councilman Hale,
Yes.
Councilmember Hirsch,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kim Cho Han.
Yes.
I am appointing the following: Deputy Court Administrator Linda Simons, ADA Coordinator Scott Brescher, Library Board of Trustees Council Representative Phil George, Qualified Purchasing Agent Lori Majeski. May I have a motion to confirm?
Motion to
confirm.
second,
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Foster,
Yes.
Councilman George,
yes,
Councilman Hale,
Yes.
Councilmember Hirsch,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kim Cho Han.
Yes.
All right. I am appointing the following to the Arts Commission: Pernille Hema and Belle Gable, Sonia Elefante, Scott Brustein, and Nikki Gonzalez. To the Board of Adjustment: Robert Holzapfel, Robert Rosner, Robert Fechter as alternate 1, and William Winfrey as alternate 2. To the Board of Health: Dr. Norma Bowe and Jeffrey Anthony, alternate 1. CDBG Advisory Committee: Councilwoman Stephanie Kim Cho Han, Edward Prince, Sheila Highsmith, Deborah Morgan. To the Commission for Universal Access: Debbie Heyer, Scott Brescher as ADA Coordinator. To the Community Emergency Response Team: Joanna Joseph, Alyssa Kaplan, Pamela Playstock, Brian Duches, Roberto Munoz, Paul Scharf, Susan Winter, Bruce Nadler, Ann Cheryl White, Nancy Wolf, Rodolfo Giuliani. To the Community Food Pantry: Janice Ballou, Laurel Kornfeld, Lynn Platt, Susan McKinnon, Deborah Convery, Bruce Bush, Evelyn Sedahi, Nancy Lord, Craig Ambrose, Miriam Lefkowitz, Kathy Lombardi as the alternate. To the Council on Aging: Paul Scharf, Arlene Orlinick, Angela Perrone. To the Emergency Management Council: H. James Polos, Lieutenant Thomas Hamill, Sergeant Jason Culver, Linda Hoffler, Terry Hover, Michael
Wazirkowitz.
Wizerkowitz, Scott Brescher, Kathleen Smith, Nancy Wolf. To the Employee Safety Committee: Jacqueline Vasquez, Chief Rick Abrams, Michael Mizerkowitz, Edward Corson, Emma Van Thun, Renee George, Brian O'Mara, Lieutenant Thomas Hamill, Kim McGraw, Nicole Huff, Norman Shammy. To the Ethics Board: Jordan Siegel. To the Historical Commission: Tom Glynn, Jeremy Gross, John Beetham, Bernice Bernstein, Grazina Strolia, Donald Beetham. To Highland Park Gives a Hoot: Michael Buckman, Derek Gamble, Sylvia Hove, Evelyn Sedahi, H. James Polos, Marilyn Pruce, Kamara Umbau. Library Board of Trustees: Cassandra Oliveras Moreno, Amanda Potter. Mayor's Wellness Campaign Committee: Dr. Cliff Lacey, Patrolman Gaetano Palumbo, Dr. Patricia Whitley Williams, Dr. Elliot Frank, Dr. Karen Ebel Avery, Dr. Bruce Fisher, Chris Woodward, Ashton Burrell, Pastor Greg McClendon, Hayden Singh, Dr. Norma Bowe. Father Abraham Lotha, Josh Przansky, Eric Gonzalez. To the Mayor's Health Commission, Brian O'Mara, Ken Kressel, Kate Jaggers, Nicole Huff, Dr. Norma Bowe, Ilana Bohm, Ruth Byer, Elizabeth Asamoah. To the Mayor's Equity Advisory Council, Franklin Moreno, Hayden Singh, Jeffrey Vordaro, Norma Vargas as the Human Relations Representative, Carolyn Timmons, Natalie Levine, Kevin Doherty. To the Municipal Alliance, Patrolman Brian O'Mara, Elizabeth Asamoah, Kim McGraw, Austin Moriale, Laura Arp, Ashton Burrell, Reverend Seth Capperdale, Irene Marks, Wendy Yang, Kimberly McGraw. May I have a motion to confirm?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Foster,
Yes.
Councilman George,
Yes.
Councilman Hale,
Yes.
Councilmember Hirsch,
I'm really excited to work with some of the new and returning volunteers, well, all of the new and returning volunteers this year. A resounding yes. Thank you so much for all you do.
Councilwoman Kim Chohan.
Yes.
Okay, I'm appointing the following. To the Recreation Advisory Committee, Mickey Landis, Debbie Heyer, Kenneth Haskins, Kathy Pace, Jay Weinberg, Nick Kambitsis, Sean Harrison, Andrea Alexander, Yudi Davis, Alex Duncan, Ryan Potter, Dove Fine as the student member, and Mark Rubin as a student member. To the Rehab and Redevelopment Screening Committee, Wolfram Hoffer, Robert Fechter, Rebecca Hirsch, Judy Richmond, Rebecca Hand, James Nichols. To the Safe Walking and Cycling Committee, Jan Verstraete. To the Shade Tree Advisory Committee, Roseanne Baru, Karen Swain, Eileen Coffey, Mary Denver, Marion Sakrovitz, Paul Sawyers, Melanie McDermott, Christy Van Horn, Sustainable Highland Park, Tina Weishaus, Irene Reigner, Irene Chan Marks, Wendy Rosen, Olivia Park, Paul Sawyers, Rose DiLorenzo, Claudia Faber. May I have a motion to confirm?
So moved.
Motion.
Roll call,
Second.
please.
Councilwoman Foster,
Yes.
Councilman George,
Yes.
Councilman Hale,
Yes.
Councilmember Hirsch,
Sorry to talk again before my vote. Yes, of course, but I did want to just mention the Rec Advisory Committee, which really is going to have its hands full in 2022, and I know that they're prepared. Thank you so much. Yes.
Councilwoman Kim Chohan.
Yes.
I'm appointing the following. To the Environmental Commission, Ethan Schoolman and Craig Ambrose. To the Planning Board, Scott Brescher, Khalidra Hadhazi, Alan Williams, Jeffrey Perlman, Alvin Chin, and Dan Stern Cardinal as alternate 1. To the Planning Board, Mayor's designee will be Pedrick Malay. Library Board of Trustees, Mayor's alternate is Mr. Ron Wong. Human Relations Commission, Hafer Friedenreich, Phyllis Pollock. No confirmation is necessary for these. And moving on to number 19, the resolutions that require a separate reading. 19A, the resolution to appoint council representative to the Planning Board, Matthew Hale. May I have a motion to adopt or reject?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Foster,
Sorry, yes.
Councilman George,
Yes.
Councilman Hale,
I'm very, very excited to be the planning board representative. I think it's going to be a great year to be on this. It's a great group of people, but I will abstain.
Councilmember Hirsch,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kim Chohan.
Yes to more midnight meetings for Councilman Hell. Yes, yes, yes.
For abstaining on voting for yourself.
May I have a motion to adopt or reject a resolution designating council representatives to Middlesex County CDBG Committee? Councilwoman Stephanie Kim Chohan.
So
May I have a
moved.
motion to,
Second.
roll call, please.
Councilwoman Foster,
Yes.
Councilman George,
Yes.
Councilman Hale,
Yes.
Councilmember Hirsch,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kim Chohan.
Abstain.
Okay.
You're allowed to vote for yourself.
May I have a motion to adopt or reject the resolution to adopt 2022's municipal and water and sewer temporary budgets?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Foster,
Yes.
Councilman George,
Yes.
Councilman Hale,
Yes.
Councilmember Hirsch,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kim Chohan.
Yes.
Okay, we're about to go into our public discussion session. As with all other public discussion sessions, this will be, each person speaking will be limited to 3 minutes each. There's a total of 15 minutes for this session. If you would like to speak, please raise your hand by pressing the *6 option on your key phone or the raise hand option on Zoom. So if you'd like to speak, please raise your hand now, and I'll ask the Borough Administrator to tell me if we have any hands raised. Terry, you're muted.
Rookie maneuver. Sorry about that. We have 2 hands raised and 14 attendees right now. First one I'm calling on is Leora Wenger. Please state your name and address for the record.
Hi, I'm Leora Wenger, and I live at 133 North 7th Avenue in Highland Park.
Okay,
Oh, so I can start talking now?
it's your
Yes.
turn.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I haven't done this before.
Okay.
I'm very hesitant because I'm not used, this is very uncomfortable. This is part of what I'm speaking about. I really would, I loved going to Borough Hall and seeing live people and talk. I love seeing my neighbors. I really miss seeing my neighbors. And I know you're all afraid that you're scared of some oogie boogie virus. And I don't think there is an oogie boogie virus. I think there was something planned in Wuhan, and it got in last year and it killed my cousin and it killed my friend's father. And I know you're scared, but I don't think we should have a mask mandate. You shouldn't be telling people to put schmatas on their faces. Sorry for using Yiddish. It doesn't work. There's plenty of studies that say it doesn't work. That's all. And I just want to meet in public. And I have lots of examples of where masks are harmful. My husband got sick last year. My rabbi got sick last year. You should, government should be in health. You should talk about vitamin D and quercetin and zinc, but just don't go into the health business. It's not your job. Please take care of the library, take care of the borough. Please, please do not get into the health business. Masks don't work. I can send you plenty of studies, and I'd love to meet in person. And I just want to quote Rabbi Sachs at the end. Rabbi Sachs said, you shouldn't other people. So when you separate people and you don't let them go to religious services are mentioned first. Why? I don't know. But when you tell people they shouldn't do these things, you're separating. This is communism, okay? It's communism coming in. And instead, we should be together in person. And if you're scared, stay on Zoom. But if the rest of us, we want to be in person. That's all. Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you, Leora. Is there anyone else?
Yes, Mayor, I see one more hand. Abby Stern Cardinal. Please state your name and address.
Hi, this is Abby Stern Cardinal. I live on Harper Street. I have a few items and I'm not sure if it'll stick within the 3 minutes, so I might have to re-raise my hand because I do have a couple of questions. So the first is about the budget. I'm wondering, I know you're approving a temporary budget because the budget isn't ready for review yet, but can you tell me what the time frame is and how we can advocate for more funds to be put in certain areas? For example, I know I've spoken about before, and I've spoken with Councilperson Hirsch about putting more funds towards the pocket parks and recreation in town, especially given all of the reduced options for kids. So I'm wondering how that timeline goes and how we can help advocate for more funds in that area.
So that's a good question. First, about the advocating, if you reach out to any of your council people or to me about areas that you're interested in, we will share them with the borough administrator and see what we can do to help in those areas. As far as the timetable is concerned, I'm going to turn it over to the borough administrator, who's been feverishly working on the budgets for the last week or so.
Yes, and just to clarify, the temporary budget is what we adopt so that we can operate during the period of time when we don't have our adopted budget. And it's basically works out to being about 25% of last year's budget. So it just keeps us afloat while we sort through the process. The timeline for introduction is set by the state. I haven't read the 2022 budget memo yet, but it's typically either by the end of March or the first meeting in April would be when we'd be shooting for introduction, assuming we're following the statutory guidelines. And then you usually have to, it's a two meeting process. There would be a public hearing and adoption 2 weeks or so thereafter. I can get you more precision answers to that question. We just adopt our council meetings for the year, and I have to kind of compare those with the statutory rules.
My next question is about the town tables, how that application to the state is going, and what, if you have any update about the timeframe for those coming back to our downtown. I know that there are a lot of people who are very excited for them to return, especially when the weather gets nicer, which will be hopefully in a couple months.
And you can include the mayor in those people who are excited for them to be returned. Borough Administrator Terry Hover has been in touch with the DOT and is working with them on this. Terry, do you want to share an update? Do you have any information?
What I can report is basically the process we're following that we were instructed to follow was we needed to submit materials as part in advance of a pre-application meeting request with the DOT. Those materials were sent by design. I made sure they got in before the holidays kind of really kicked in full. I've only been back a day and a half, so I haven't heard back yet from the DOT, but my expectation would be we would have a date for that meeting in the next couple of weeks. I just don't know how quick they will get back to us with a date. We have that meeting. We come away with any guidance from them about what we've presented and where our proposals are. If there are any refinements we need to make, we'll have some opportunity to do that. And then we'll be able to submit the permit application in full. So the best thing I can tell you is our materials are in. We've requested that meeting, and I'm pushing real hard to make that meeting sooner rather than later for the same reasons you cited. We'd like to get them up and running for the spring.
Thank you. And then if I have additional time, my last comment is somewhat in reaction to the previous speaker, but I was going to comment anyway. I think pretty much everything that the previous speaker said, I disagree with, and I think is absolutely absurd about the mask mandate. It is great to have a mask mandate in town. I, however, feel it doesn't go far enough in terms of enforcement, and it leaves it for our community members to have the role of enforcement and saying to people in town, hi, there's a mask mandate, I need you to put your mask on. As most of you know, I have 2 young daughters. Both are under 5. They cannot yet be vaccinated. One is young enough that she can't even wear a mask, which means I don't feel safe. I haven't brought her in places for almost 2 years now. I rely on our community and I rely on our government to keep my kids safe because there aren't health measures yet that they can do that. In 6 months, my younger daughter will be able to wear a mask and I will happily put that mask on her. There's no harm to mask for children. There's no harm to mask in adults. I personally gave birth wearing a mask. It was fine. It was not a big deal. And my older daughter is almost 4 and she happily wears her mask. So I won't really go further in that area. I think that's kind of all that needs to be said there. I would like to see some clarity on enforcing this mask mandate, either a fine or a penalty. You know, just having that I think would go a long way. I also do think there was a slight oversight in putting a minimum age. My daughter is, like I said, under 2. She can't yet wear a mask until 2. It isn't deemed safe because of, you know, not allowing little babies to have things over their face until a certain age. So I do think there needs to be a minimum age. And lastly, I would have liked to see a distinction for whether indoor dining is an exception. I don't think that was fully fleshed out. So I just wanted to make those comments. I think that it was well done. I'm glad there's a mandate. I wish it had happened. I wish people had continued to wear their masks and I wish it wasn't necessary, but I think it was necessary, you know, and the writing was on the wall even earlier than this. So I would really like to see some fines put in place or some way that we can have businesses in town realize that this is a serious thing. It's how we're keeping our little kids and our immunocompromised community members safe. Thank you.
So Abby, thank you very much for your comment. We do have some enforcement procedures that were discussed regarding the mask mandate. Borough Administrator, I don't know if you want to talk about them or you want me to talk about them, but it involves our code enforcement officer and that office.
Yes, if you'd like me to mention a couple things, but our code enforcement office is the lead. We did send an email to the businesses this morning that for whom we had emails to make sure they're aware of the mandate. We've also gone out in person to several of the kind of high traffic areas to let them know what's going on and their obligation to help us enforce. One of the challenges, and I know Abby would know this, is we can't be everywhere with very limited staffing. So we're gonna have to rely on, we get repeated complaints that the mask rules aren't being followed, to follow up with them in accordance. And we're also gonna offer to help. We do have a supply of cloth masks we can offer them to make compliance with the regulation easier, and we're gonna provide those when requested. So we need a little time to mobilize because we're all kind of just getting back after the vacation and the mandate went forward on, I guess, effective the 31st. So we realize we have a little work to do to get the word out to help the businesses comply. But we do have the limitation. We can't be everywhere at all times, but if we do hear about problems in specific businesses, we will address that with those business owners.
Yeah, and if I could just add to that, in terms of penalties, we do have Chapter 1, Article 3 in the borough's code book does call for violations and penalties and repeat code violation offenders. So because this is now that it's been voted on, it will be part of the code for the borough regarding masking in our public places downtown. The penalties will come from whatever is in the code for Chapter 1, Article 3. So those will be addressed. Okay, Terry, is there another?
No, I believe the only hand raised is that of Councilman Hale.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see that, Councilman. Thank you, Terry.
I just wanted to also add that Main Street Highland Park and a number of the council members will be going door to door to the businesses with flyers about the mask mandate as a further attempt to try and help businesses know that there is a mask mandate. I do want people to recognize that as a business owner in Highland Park, they are in a tough spot in terms of enforcement. It's that their customers are coming in. If you have difficulty with a mask mandate, please don't take it out on the people who are in our businesses. They're doing their very best to support this mask mandate. And if there are problems with it, if you have concerns about it, come to us and come to the borough instead of going and going after the business owners. There's been some pretty scary incidents of people who are rabidly anti-mask going after regular store clerks who are simply trying to help with public health. So this is an important step for us to do. And I just hope that people will recognize that it really is important that we try and work together on this and come to a good solution on these. It's important for people to wear masks, but please don't sort of attack the business owners if they ask you to put on masks. I don't think that's fair. But we will be going around. We will be making the rounds of downtown to make sure that as much information is out there as we possibly can get.
Excuse me, Mayor.
Just as you go forward with any council people, I appreciate the enthusiasm of the council members who want to get the word out. Just let's make sure we're not tripping over code enforcement's feet as we go out there. So if it could be coordinated, I think that would be make it go more smoothly. Thank you.
That wasn't clear. That's our intention. So
Okay.
have a coordinated effort. So.
Okay, good.
Mayor, I'm told that I have a caller in who's trying to raise their hand. It's phone number ending 5800.
So hold on one second before you do that. I just want to clear with the attorney, since we've moved on from phone calling.
Oh,
and
sorry, I
question-
didn't know if we closed public comment or not.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we were, yeah.
Okay.
Can we still open it up again for someone calling in now?
Yes, Madam Mayor, you can do that.
Okay. All right, Terry.
I apologize, Mayor. I didn't take our going there as a closing. All right, it's phone number ending in 5800. You'll have to unmute yourself. If you're on a phone, you're gonna have to press #6 to do so. And if you don't want to speak, I will, I guess we will go on to, again, it's a phone number ending in 5800, and you have to hit #6 on your end to unmute yourself. #6. Give you a second because I know it's awkward. I'm going to try one more thing. Again, you gotta hit #6 on if you're calling in from a phone, or the unmute button. Ah, looks like you figured it out.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, it's Yvonne.
I'm sorry, who is
Say
it?
your name and address and completely, please.
Siobhan Weinstein.
Oh, hi there.
Highland, Bennett Street,
Uh-huh.
215.
Haven't heard your voice in a while. Go ahead.
I know. I know. How is everybody?
We got it short order here. Let's go.
All right. So mainly just directly the mask mandate.
Mhm.
I read the executive order a few times, and I just have two glaring remarks, I guess. The one, all persons within the borough of HP shall wear a mask at all times while indoor at any public accommodation. Doesn't really speak, I mean, if that's a restaurant, if that's a bar, that's essentially saying I can't have coffee in the morning when I'm at my own establishment.
Siobhan, I heard that question from another restaurant in town. We're asking people to use common sense. So if you're sitting at a table and eating, clearly you can't wear your mask. But certainly if you get up from your table to walk around or use the facilities, whatever, we expect that you'll put your mask back on.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. You know, that's pretty much what we've all been doing
Right.
for the last year and a half. That's totally fair. I think it was just with that, like the email that went out saying if there's violations, we're like, well, and nobody have a drink in the bar without us being worried about having a violation, getting a violation.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just scrolling through my notes. Yeah, and Kelly, you just outlined you don't want to negatively impact businesses. I mean, it already has. I will say that New Year's Eve is the second busiest probably bar night of the year. And if you don't know, January in general for typically any restaurant or bar is the slowest year of the month, and they count on New Year's Eve sales to get them through January because the sales are so poor. And we did about a 10th, probably less than a 10th of what we typically do on New Year's Eve because we had to cancel our event because we just didn't think we were going to get the numbers. I mean, I personally would not go out to pay for drinks to sit and have a mask on. And again, going back to your point though, if it's common sense, we're relying on people are pretty respectful. My staff always has their masks on. 30 seconds. No, anyway, I think it would be helpful if there's some clarity put out about the executive order that was put into writing.
Okay, I appreciate that and hear that, Javon, and perhaps Councilman Hale and any of the other council people, when they go out, can explain to the restaurant owners that when people are sitting and eating, they clearly have to take their masks off. But if they're walking around or whatever, you know, we would like to see the masks on. We'll help get clarification out there for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I do see two more hands, Mayor, if you would like me to resume or not, you let me know.
Well, we have 15 minutes were allocated to.
Oh, I didn't time, I have to confess. Jennifer, did you happen to look?
I did not.
Okay.
You had how many?
Well, then,
Well, it's only
just
one
one
hand.
It's just one hand.
Oh, okay, we have one hand, Mayor, sorry.
okay, so let's do this last hand.
Okay, sorry about that.
I believe we started at around 6 minutes to 8. So
I'm sorry, I usually write it down and I fail. All right,
Okay.
all right, last up, we have Daniel Stern Cardinal.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
yes.
Dan Stern Cardinal, 221 Harbor Street. Just also want to comment on the mask mandate. First, thank you for enacting it. Obviously, the case numbers right now are mind-boggling. And so it's important that we, have a mask mandate for any indoor public setting. I just also want to just comment, though, I hope it can be amended or something to mandate some kind of medical grade mask and not just kind of cloth masks. The research is pretty clear by now that the cloth masks don't really do a whole lot. So to be effective, it really needs to, at a minimum, be a surgical mask or ideally a KN95 or an N95. So if we're really serious about making it an effective mandate and not just kind of a symbolic mandate, it should be specifically for something better than cloth masks. Those have been shown at this point to be pretty ineffective. And for two people in close contact, it's only about the time to transmission that's required is only about 5 minutes, and that extends into the hours for a KN95 and literally days for a properly fitted N95. So the cloth masks really need to be kind of excluded as complying. And kind of related to that, please don't like give the cloth masks away, like at the entrances to businesses or anything, because that it can actually do more harm than good. And that if someone's getting a cloth mask, then that's not going to be effective. But they're still wearing it, and they're then not going to wear something like what Councilman Hirsch is wearing right now, which is actually really effective, especially when it's properly fitted. So it's really important that it's targeted based on the available data that we have, that it's medical grade masks, not cloth masks. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Oh, I see Councilman Hale has his hand, Hirsch has his hand raised.
Thank you. I just wanted to thank Dan Stern Cardinal for his comment, not complimenting my mask, but for making that point that I think we've all been learning a lot in this, particularly in the last few weeks, about what is effective and what's not. And I don't know how we would require a KN95, but it's certainly something that ideally would make a lot of sense. I just don't. I don't think anybody has an answer for that yet. And then I did just want to mention something. I won't address some of the things that a previous caller said about being scared of the virus, but or the oogly woogly virus, I think was the technical term. But it's this isn't about fear. I think a lot of what particularly local government should be involved in is public health. Public health is a legitimate and viable policy area that governments are involved in. So that is certainly well within the role of any form of government, any community organization, any house of worship, and even a store if you so choose. Keeping your constituency, whatever that constituency is, as healthy as possible is very much the role of not only government, but any community actor, any kind of stakeholder has an interest in making sure that people are safe. Now, when it comes to being in person, hell yeah, I agree. I would love to be in person. One of my favorite places to be for the last 4 months, when we were able to kind of, pre-Omicron, was Pino's, where Siobhan Weinstein just spoke from. And it still will be. We can go there to congregate. You can see music. You can actually, engage with people, but you have to be safe about it right now. And the point of the mask mandate is not to instill fear in the community. I mean, I could go on. There are so many mythbusters that, I could engage in, when it comes to the stuff that's put out there, on social media about the danger of masks, and so forth. But it's not about fear. It's about empowering people in order to live the way that they feel the most comfortable to live. And if that involves being social and being out to the extent that they can, then this is how you do it. It's not too much to ask. It's not too much to ask people to wear a mask. Particularly, the whole point is to keep hospital beds free of COVID patients. So people who have other medical emergencies are not there waiting for a hospital bed. The whole point is to keep beds free of COVID patients, and so they don't get overwhelmed and overloaded. That's the and there's a lot that we know about this variant that's different from previous variants, and I'm sure that there's a lot more that we're going to learn as we move forward. But right now, and this executive order does sunset, and right now it's about keeping hospital beds clear and keeping people from and trying to keep people from being sick. I don't necessarily believe that mask requirements are a deterrent. I think a lot of people are just choosing to stay at home because of the conditions out there. Everybody's getting it. There are breakthrough cases, unfortunately, generally mild, particularly if you're vaccinated and boosted, which you should do. And there's resources on the HP Borough website, and there are myriad community volunteers who are making sure that you have access to a vaccine. So it really is a community effort. It's not about fear. It's not about government control. Nobody wants to wear a mask. You think I want to be here breathing through this right now? No, absolutely not. But I know what's involved in making sure that I play my part in keeping people from potentially getting sick, keeping myself from getting sick, and making sure that the real risk is that, when my kids go to school, go to public schools every day, they're wearing masks, and I want to make sure that I'm not, potentially getting something and then giving it to my colleagues or giving it to my mom, or my in-laws or anybody. That's the real thing. And I'm sorry that I have to say this, but this is not about fear. This is not about government control. And it's not about making sure that, to whatever end a mask mandate would, oil the wheels of government. I'm really not sure how that helps. We want to be an economically thriving community, and we don't want to put any obstacles in place. And I think, when you combine the public health risk that's out there, hopefully short, hopefully for a few weeks, we have to ride this out and see what happens. And then making sure that our retail can operate functionally. As long as people can just wear a mask for a few weeks. Take it off when you're eating, of course. Take it off when you're drinking, of course. But it's this is just it is a reasonable measure that I think local governments can take, and we've seen it through many local governments, throughout the region. So that's my piece. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Well said. Okay, I think I asked, oh, I'm sorry, Borough Attorney.
I'm sorry, Madam Mayor. During the day, the clerk's office received 2 messages which were requested to be read into the record. So with your permission, I would do that.
Okay.
The first is a message from Lois Lebbing. For your information, still no first quarter water bills were sent to at least 6 homes and 1 business on North 2nd Avenue. As the water department compared its fourth quarter bill count with the previous quarter, how many times has the post office been notified? The December resignation of the planning board's 3 big kahunas with nearly 100 years of experience between them sent shockwaves through the residents. Were these members' hands tied since the borough water and sewer lines are over 50 years old? Will these lines exceed their capacity again? Does HP need new engineering experts and input? How will the planning board obey the MLUL requirement for public safety, ensuring adequate water supply, drainage, trees, storage facilities, etc.? And finally, is it now the time to step back and ensure residents of safe, clean, walkable town before embarking upon overcrowded streets, sidewalks, and sewers? And the second communication is from a Mr. Mark Liebskind. Based on information found in the New Jersey League of Municipalities website, it appears that the mayor does not have the authority to issue an executive order imposing a mask mandate in the borough because it infringes on powers of the council. Highland Park's borough form of government is considered a weak form of government and is governed by 40A:60-1 et sec. The duties of the mayor appear at 40A:60-5 and 6. 40A:60-5 states that the mayor's authority allows her to recommend to the council such measures that she may deem necessary or expedient for the welfare of the borough. Highland Park Ordinance 3-4 states the same. Neither gives her executive authority over this matter, fortunately. In addition, the executive order does not allow masks to be removed when people eat, drink, or ignore the science referenced in Governor Murphy's Executive Order 242, upon which Gail claims reliance, that in a public space where all attendees are fully vaccinated, masks are not required. Masking makes sense where you do not know the vaccination status of attendees. The executive order also does not have an expiration date. Contrast this with the attached mayor executive orders from North and New Brunswick, which allow for masks to be removed for eating and drinking, expire in 30 days. According to the medical experts, the recent rise in the Omicron cases is largely due to unvaccinated individuals and is expected to trend downward in a few weeks. So having an open-ended mandate does not make sense or act in the public interest. It should be limited and can be reviewed near its expiration. the borough wishes to impose a legal mask mandate to protect the public, it would appear that it must be done by the council. That's the end of the messages.
Okay. And the council tonight did vote on a mask mandate.
With a
Correct,
sunset clause.
correct.
Okay. Okay, in that case, I think I had a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Yes. Okay, and a second?
Second.
Okay,
I wanna
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for your work.
Good night,
Happy New
everyone.
Year.
Let's
Good night,
look
everybody.
forward to a
Happy
great
New Year.
2020.
Happy New Year.
Thank you to borough staff for being here too.
Yes.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.